Hi everyone, Sean here. It's been a while since I did a YouTube video and I thought I'd just kind of do some updates. I get asked a fair bit, uh, when do I harvest my sticks, how do I cut them, how do I store them, etc. As you can see, these ones I label the month and the year when they were harvested. I try and stay ahead of the game a little bit. Each year I'll go out and cut a few sticks, that way I can keep working on them continuously. I usually cut them a little bit longer than I think I'll need, and sometimes I'll seal the ends if they're prone to splitting, either with paraffin wax or some sort of poly. Works quite well as well. What time of the year do I do it? I'll do it any time of the year. Generally though, in the fall and the winter when the sap stops running up the tree is a good time. They don't tend to crack as much as they do when they're the saplings have leaves on them and you're in the middle of summer. So gives you a little bit of an idea anyway what to do there. But again, I've got these stored outside underneath an eave here. They stay fairly dry. We just went through a nice hot dry summer up here in BC, so these I'll probably have to take indoors or cover up a little bit better than I have before, so it's they remain dry. But anyway, we'll go over into the shop here and I'll show you what I've been working on. I've got some here that I've partially sanded. They need some work. I've got to shape them and get them down to where I want them, and then to finish them off. This here is my this is my shop. I've got some Danish oil, which I like to use, Danish oil stains, the Watco. I've got different stains here, golden oak, there's natural, comes in a walnut, there's cherry, whole variety of different Danish oil stains I like to just put on my sticks before finishing them with and you can see the tins here, a wipe-on poly. There's a satin finish or a gloss, and that's generally what I use along with a spar varnish, water-based spar varnish, which I enjoy using as well. Here's some sticks that I brought in. This time of year I usually like to stick to doing canes, walking canes for Christmas time and so on. But I do also do walking sticks as well. And here's some of the ones that I've finished off recently. I've got some of them I leave a little bit longer. They're almost like a Moses stick, and some have got some walking sticks here, and also some canes as well. So this one here is going to a friend of mine, and it's just a alder stick, and I just peeled the bark off it and added some Danish oil to it, and then I just covered it with a wipe-on poly. Pretty basic stick. I like to, I've got a little emblem that I use on my sticks. Here it is here, and just a little bit of a reference. When you see something like this on the street or whatever, you kind of go, oh, that's my stick. And it's good to date your sticks. Just initial them. Here's a couple more. These actually, these three here, were actually in ground underneath, part of a root system of the tree, and I just kind of dug down into the ground a little bit and sawed it off, but it was covered in dirt as part of the root system, and it's got some nice little chunks out of there. I think it makes a great natural cane handle. Same with this one as well. It's got some nice little divots out of there. And again, just a Danish oil and a poly finish on it. So, and like I say, these ones are varying sizes. I put rubber tips on most of my canes. I've got some up on the wall here, various sizes, and furniture tips work well, or you can get the cane tips from the pharmacies and so on. This one here is a chunk of oak, and I don't see too much oak. Actually, I don't harvest all that much oak. Nice little knuckle in there. This one here I'm not done with yet. I'm going to put some some paracord on it, and for a handle. And that's that. This one here to the right is wild lilac. Again, I like wild lilac. Just it has a very flaky bark, outer bark, and then the inner bark, of course, the under bark is really nice. I just take sandpaper and just kind of sand it, and this is what you end up with. This is the second or third one I've made. These, you have to be careful with this. It does split, so I usually seal the ends when I get them. This one here, again, wild lilac. It's got a little bit of a 40-45 degree bend on the handle, and just again scrape the bark off, sand it, oil it, and poly. This one here, I'm no wood carver. I don't have the skill, but this one I decided to take a couple of my little knives and do a little pattern on it. This is going to be my wife's cane. It's relatively small. She's a smaller, shorter lady, so this one here, I just left the bark on it. I believe it's birch or cherry. And I just, like I say, I was testing out some of the knives that I have and put this little pattern in, fairly simple. But again, you don't have to go to a lot of work, but when you get out and find some of these sticks, you know, you'll know it. You'll see them, and you go, ah, that would make a nice walking stick, or that might make a nice cane. This one here is part of a root system as well, and we just sawed it off and pulled it out of the ground, and lo and behold, you have a nice little walking stick or cane. Shorten it up, makes a nice cane. Again, rubber tip on it, and yeah. This one here is a little bit taller. This is a walking stick, and it's a red alder. And again, it was part of a root system. And I just finished it off with some poly. This one here has some nice spiraling grooves in the wood. I just took actually a scraper, like a paint scraper, and scraped off some of the outer ridges. And that's the lighter color that you see there. And then what I did was just took sandpaper and just sanded the rest down. And just a poly finish. So. It's got a little bit of a rough texture up here for grip and so on, but it turned out quite nice. And then this one here, I can't remember what kind of wood this was, but again, it's a cane with a bit of character to it, and same thing. I just left the bark on it, and it's got some knots and stuff in it, and it definitely gives it a little bit of a different look. Some spalting, and there we are. So that's kind of what I've been working on here lately. Canes primarily, and then and a few walking sticks. I've got a fair bit of work ahead of me, but this is what I like to do. This here, over here, is beaver chew, and this is about a 12-year-old birch, and it was taken down by one of the beavers, and I just actually took a saw and sawed off the base, and just shellacked it, and just going to let it dry out, and hopefully it won't crack. It's very, very wet, very heavy and green, and hopefully it'll make a nice mantelpiece of some sort when it all dries. We'll see how it turns out anyway. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. This is what I've been doing. If you have any comments or any questions or whatever, just be sure to go ahead and post, and I'll try and answer them. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.